North Korea is unimaginable to people who were not born there. And the outside world is unimaginable to us. I learned there was something called human rights. I was even amazed to learn there were animals' rights and gender equality. As free people, it is our duty to use our voices to speak for the voiceless.
The ones that stood out most to me weren't the ones from like the bigger companies, the CEOs. It's actually people who had very real life stories. For example, the North Korean defector shared their story about how it is not about them now, it's about the people that they still leave behind in their respective countries. I thought that was very moving because as they were sharing about the importance of media freedom, it came from a very personal angle because of their desire to actually lift the people who are still in their country out of poverty, out of that regime. When you hear these kinds of real stories, that's really what we came to One Young World for.
Technology, after all, is morally neutral. There's no good or evil robots. Algorithms. There are only good or selfish people.
Mackenzie shared the concept of having a digital double on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all your other social media platforms. A digital double is always far more powerful than our actual self. So the real question is, how are we going to use this power to effect real change? Technology is morally neutral. It is us, the users, with selfless or selfish intent that will make technology look otherwise. We now have the power to use technology to enable lives. Will you be the one to stand on the right side of technology?
For myself, it was kind of highlighting the smaller issues that coming from a first world country, you would never actually pay much thought towards in terms of how many people are actually living below the poverty line, how accessible is education for these kind of people, and the kind of sacrifices they have to make to have things that we actually take for granted. Education is provided to us from a young age. We never had to really fight for a spot in it. We never had to, walk 5 hours a day just to get to school.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that is really good food for thought because you actually meet people there who have gone through all these things and who've triumphed in terms of their struggles.
There will be moments in your life where you can choose to do something to make it easier for those who come after you. And when you grab those moments, you are an activist.
Sharing more from the session from Lina Naye, the CHRO of Unilever. I think when she spoke about the purpose and the heart of leadership. And she mentioned that we ought to seize every opportunity that we have to make things better for the generations that come after us. When you do that, she shares that you are then an activist. For me, that was really empowering because you never think much of sometimes small opportunities, but her point was that you don't often have to go for big global movements because they are often long drawn and are very challenging. And instead focusing on small initiatives and then scaling up, that's your way to make sure that you are really making the most of every tiny opportunity to make a difference in the world that you live in.
Take away the rose-colored lenses that you've been living your life with throughout and really taking a step towards creating a future where kind of bridge that poverty and inequality divide. And as an organization, I always feel no matter how small it is, we have to do something, we have to take a stand. We can't always stand and sit on the fence. Then if we do, then nothing really gets done. So one small step is better than no step at all.